morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you may find yourself as you listen to this and you're tuned into the only sports podcast with brains. But today we're about the bars. It's a black and white thing. You can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice. Searching Brains and Bars for iTunes. Please give us 5 stars, leave a comment, rate and review. For all other platforms, please follow us. You can also check out this particular episode and a few others by going to our YouTube page, searching Brains and Bars. Hit subscribing, hit that notification bell, like each and every video, comment on those videos, please. Ding, hit the notification bell. You can also find us on social media by searching Brains and Bars, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. As always, I don't do this show by myself. I am joined by my partner in crime, the homie A.Ward. What's going on?
A.Ward is currently clocking out for lunch. So if you are watching this and you work with me, just realize, here we go, meal clocked out. I am not doing my extracurricular activities while I'm on the clock. But it is good to be here, man. I appreciate you inviting me on. Had a great week. Been an interesting week for me. I think one of my friends called me Aaron Doolittle or something to that extent over the last couple of days because we got a dog and a gecko in the last 3 days.
Oh,
and
yeah.
To go with our three cats. So we got a house full of animals. And but no, it's good. It's good to jump on here. Been wanting to talk about Ultimate Madness as I watched it last week on Caffeine. It's great as always to have basically our co-host now, or the great Carlos Bedoya, aka Loso, aka Holy Fans Loso, aka TikTok viral sensation, aka I don't know, whatever else you got going
Twitter
on.
viral.
Twitter viral, yeah. Appreciate you jumping on with us, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Unlike A.Ward, I actually am on the clock because I am an entrepreneur. So everything I do is always on the clock 24/7. But I'm glad to be here, man. What's up, y'all?
Good, man. Good. Good week. Coming off Memorial Day. But we're here to talk about some battles that went down this weekend. Shout out to Smack, Chico, Beasley, P, the whole URL, TV.TV family, app gang. We in the building. Yeah, okay. Anyway, they had a tournament that went down that started this weekend, Ultimate Madness tournament. The left side of the bracket went. This is a 16 battler tournament. Is it the winners? Is it the finalists open up on Gnome?
Yep.
I believe so, yes.
All right, so finalists opens up on Gnome, and then the winner gets $25,000 cash, which is, that's a pretty dope deal there. Nice little midsummer bag to pick up, because I believe Gnome goes down July 11th. 10th or 11th. I know it goes down in July. So let's get into this, man. We don't want to prolong the time. Let's just go ahead and jump into this. We're just going to go through each one and kind of get into some of the conversations we've been having.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right.
Do you want to go in order, or do you want to actually, build up to the actual battles that were?
So you want to go from worst to first?
I mean, I'm cool with going worst to first. That way we can at least know how much time we have left to spend on the people who actually prepared for the tournament.
Yeah, I have very little to say about the worst. So
yes.
All right, then let's go ahead and get that out the way then.
So Squeako versus wait,
yeah, right.
My man.
Stop. Rubando and Gunpowder Pat was I mean, I think the consensus is going to say was the worst battle on of the weekend. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot to say. Gunpowder Pat was very vocal, especially on his champion face-off and not being respected enough by champion, not, getting enough love. Why you guys picking Bando over me? And then we got there and he was Bando was equally and then Bando won from all 4 judges. They picked him. No need to go to the fan scorecard. I have not watched a lot of Rubando. I've been hearing a lot of good things about Rubando leading up to the tournament. I've watched Gunpowder Pat, and I mean, he's simply okay. I get his style. He's a funny guy, personality. It just didn't translate in this particular format, you know. So I don't know where Pat goes from here, but you know, we wish him all the best. So,
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, go ahead. Y'all got something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, Gunpowder Pat, like when he battled Skates and he battled a couple guys a long time ago, like I was like, yo, this guy's kind of nice, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't, you know, jumped on the, you know, he's the next big thing or anything like that. But then I don't know if he just wasn't getting played, so getting looks or whatever, but just hadn't heard from him in so long. I think that, you know, if this tournament is on like the fringe of his escalation within the PGs, you know, it might be something different. But I think that we just kind of forgot about, you know, him, and then he just popped up like, oh, there's Gunpowder Pat again. I do think that to me, even though Rubando won the battle, I still think that the potential for me, the ceiling is higher for Gunpowder Pat. I just think that like his personality and the way that he delivered some things just weren't conducive for the environment he was in. I think that he can still, you know, get better. What I saw from Rubando to me was just a very basic and average pin, another like we go hard kind of copycat type battler. And I just don't see the, you know, the appeal that guys like Chess or Steams or other guys that have come from that, you know, that cloth. You have to understand, when you come out of that we go hard mentality, you have to either, you know, be like Chess, or you have to paint your face white, or you have to, I mean, you basically have to do something, you know, to separate yourself, because they all kind of rap the same and they all kind of have the same substance. So,
yeah, I agree. The Gunpowder Pat thing, the two battles that he actually had after Skates that should have been, you know, escalating battles were the Don Marino battle and then the Yana battle, and he didn't do well at all. It seemed like
he didn't again. I thought he did okay against Don, didn't he?
He lost, and he lost, and Don choked that battle. You know what I'm saying? And like the consensus was like, yo, it wasn't a good performance. And to me, his Skates, like everyone was so high on Gunpowder after the Skates battle because he was doing things that like we were like, yo, this is hilarious. He had this hood mentality to him. Like he had some bars. Sorry, did I go out for a minute?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. Somebody, I don't know why. A call just went through if I went on Do Not Disturb. So
that's funny.
All right. Anyway, so but that's what we saw from Gunpowder Pat. And so when the battle came on, I actually expected what ended up happening with Gunpowder Pat, because that's not his situation. Like that small room, us listening to every word, him not really being able to feed off a crowd reaction. Now, Rubando, I thought the reason why he didn't look as good as he did against Kid Chaos and everybody else was because he was trying to joke with Gunpowder Pat. If you saw in the beginning, he tried to roast a little bit. I thought he was getting out of his element. And I actually think Rubando has a high ceiling, because I kind of get reminded of a young Tay-Rock when I hear Rubando. And just with that gun bar stuff, Tay-Rock made a living off of that. You know what I'm saying? Until, until he started trying to implement other stuff. But I think Ru, he's still young. I'm actually excited to see him against Yana. I think him and Yana are going to do much better than what they did last week. But, the battle wasn't that good. I mean, Rubando kind of won by default. So it was what it was.
All right, cool.
Oh, one more thing I'll say about these bad battles. And I don't know if these guys have this leisure or have this ability to do this, but I was also thinking about it, like if a Loso or a myself goes into a tournament like this, right? And we feel very, very confident about winning our round, there could be bars, there could be things that I've thought of that I say, I'm going to need that for the second round. And so I don't know if your Rubandos, your Honors, or your Gunpowder Pats or guys like that, like had things in the tuck that wrote and said, you know what, I plan on winning this one this way, but next round you're going to get some of these haymakers or some of the really dope stuff. Because, that would be an important thing in a tournament format, to not burn yourself out with all of the crazy stuff that you maybe have had stored up for 3 months, and then get to the semifinals and just have a terrible performance, So hopefully these guys, these 4 guys in these first 2 battles, the 2 that won, hopefully they had some stuff that they were like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and have this next round,
Yep.
And so shout out to those guys. I wasn't, again, we're we're on the time limit, right? So I wasn't just trying to completely dismiss them. So I appreciate you guys jumping in and providing some analysis from a battle rapper's perspective on both of their performances. All right, so let's jump into the next one then. This is Your Honor versus Squeako. Again, so I'll say this. For me, I was surprised by Your Honor. I think for me, Your Honor has been someone who, kind of like a Gunpowder Pat, right? I see the potential. I see what he could be. He's definitely shown it in spurts, but we haven't seen, for me, maybe you guys have, I haven't seen 3 dope, consistent rounds from Your Honor since he's been on URL. Like, I haven't seen this pre-URL stuff, but since he's been on URL, he's had moments, right? I get more money than you, yada, yada, all those things, Glock 9, like that whole thing popping off. And so, like, for me, like, to see him come out and he's scheming a little bit, you know what I'm saying? He talks about following in Rex's steps. He's got the paper and the stapler scheme. And I'm like, okay. Like, he's punching a little bit. And I'm like, okay, Your Honor, like, you're showing a side that I personally haven't seen before. And from Squeako's standpoint, I mean, first was good. Second, not so good. And no, his third was his best round, right? I think his third was his best round. Is that the round he talked about? Where was I at between 9 and 10? And I said 5th grade.
Yeah.
That was some high line.
Yeah, that was a fire line. So
that wasn't a fire line. That's a meme. That's like one of the oldest jokes in the book.
Is it?
Like, yeah.
Oh, come on,
bro. Are you serious?
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure Arsenal said that too, like in a battle before too.
New to me.
Yeah, no, I've heard.
New to me.
I've literally, it's like one of those, like, that's like one of those old school, like, old memes. And like, I'm almost positive Arsenal said that joint. And I'm not just hating on Squeako, I promise. Like, I mean,
I did not know that at all.
He deserves it, but like, I'm almost sure, that I've heard that bar. And like, sometimes I'm not mad at people that reinvent like some like witty like memes or jokes that they see online. You know what I mean? But like that joint is like, the like word for word, like a pun, or a line that I've heard multiple times.
Okay, so I'll start. Break down Your Honor's performance. What do you guys think of his performance?
I thought, Your Honor, I thought everything you said was I was right on par. Because like for me, when I watched Your Honor, and like I said before, bro, a lot of these dudes, because they were in that specific element, I already turned the bar down for them. I like the Squeakos, the Your Honors, the Gunpowder Pats. Unfortunately, what we saw was what was going to happen. But Your Honor, I thought that he did try to implement a couple of things in there that he normally didn't do, which I did appreciate him trying. I thought he clearly won the battle. He was clearly better than Squeako. Just like what you said, Your Honor is a dude who I don't know too much before pre-URL, but since he's been on URL, I can make the case that even though he's probably lost every URL battle, he's been the most memorable battler in that battle every time, including his Swamp battle. That Swamp battle has like 500,000 views on a PG. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And then obviously his Lou Castro one, he has that segment that I'm better than you. Jason Tatum retweets it, or Jason Tatum posts him up. Bleacher Report posts him. So like, you see this quality in him that like he can say these things that people gravitate to. He's very, very entertaining. And I thought he was doing that in that battle, but it's just like, hey, you don't have any crowd. I'm excited to see him on the next round against Rude Bando. But I did think that Your Honor's performance was lackluster because of the situation, and he was better than Squeako. So
yeah, and shout out to the cement line, the cement scheme he had that in his first round. That was really, really dope. And like I said, that was kind of one when he did that, I went, oh, okay, this is something different. At least for me, that was something different. Starting off his second round, picking up for where he left off in his first round. What happens to a squeak on the floor in my house? End of his first round. Same thing that happens in any other squeak on the floor. It's funny,
bro. It's funny, yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfect start to a round. It's just, and it's so unexpected. Like, I don't know how quiet the people in the room are supposed to be, but they're reacting to it. So It's definitely something you want. So, A-Ward, I throw it to you. Your critique of his performance.
I was actually excited. I watched the face-off, and I was actually kind of excited for this battle. And I like your Honor's personality, man. I really like how he handles himself, and I thought he did okay. You know, I'm looking at this from a lens of $25,000. You know what I mean? Like, and so that might not be fair to some of these guys because all of a sudden URL is deciding that they're going to put $25,000 in the hands of somebody who's probably not worth it yet. So they're expediting the complete process of what they, you know, I mean, for people that are like myself and Loso, it takes a long time to make $25,000 in battle rap, you know, like, I mean, in a sense of battles, right? So I'm looking at it like, man, $25,000 for these performances, like, it's just not there for me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so I thought Your Honor was the better of the two, obviously with Squeako's, you know, choke. I saw the post interview where Squeako said it was just a word that threw him off or whatever, that made him choke or whatever. Sucks to suck. But like at the end of the day, yeah, man, it was just kind of, yeah. I really like. I would be lying to you if I said I rewatched it all in its entirety. Like when I went live, I caught the last round, and I went back and a certain way to watch it again, and I couldn't get through it, bro. Like it just wasn't for me, you know. I heard D.I. the Henny Man say like that's the stuff he likes, that trap stuff, that real, like, you know. But I think Loso hit it on the head. Is like you need the energy of these other guys around you for you to, you know, succeed. But with Gnome 10 being July 11th, you know, it's probably going to be a small room type event like this too. So, you know, maybe they'll have 4 battles to get ready for, you know, how they're going to perform in front of, you know, very, very few people again on July 11th. Because like, if you're looking at right now, if you're telling me that Rubando or Your Honor opening, you know, one of those Houston type Gnome cards, I'm going to say you're making the biggest mistake of your entire life, URL. Don't throw him out there on that stage. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So can I say something though about the 25,000? I know a lot has been made of that, and yes, that, you know, is the kind of the grand prize, right? But for me, I'm not looking at it at, okay, you have to put on $25,000 performances every round, right? Right. So the analogy I equated it to was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. When you get on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, $1 million is at stake, but you have to get there first, right? So you're not playing for $1 million on a $100 question. You're playing for $100. And in this first round, it helps to make a good impression. But, you know, if you've watched enough of these, we're going to make you a star, The Voice, Masked Singer. Well, not necessarily Masked Singer because all those people are famous. But, what's the one that started it all? American Idol, right? Yeah. Making the band from go back to Diddy, right? All these things. You could be a person who's on the chopping block one day, and then by the end of this thing, it's like, yo, look at where, and I'm going to use Rubando because I think the consensus is that of all the winners, he had the worst performance, right? Mm-hmm. Like we could be looking at Rubando today saying, yo, he was not good versus Gunpowder Pat. And then look at his performances going forward and be like, yo, from that performance up until opening up Gnome 10, you've seen this ascension and this continual improvement in his performances. So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
It's feasible. Yeah, it's definitely feasible. Yeah, I wasn't really hip to a lot of these guys before because the only times I would really go back and watch full PG battles were like if somebody really, really, you know, like took off, like an Ace Amin or, you know, some of these other guys where I would go back and really check them out. So hopefully that they can, you know, Rubando and Your Honor can do better, because ultimately, like I was talking about on Twitter, is like one of these guys is in the semifinals to $25,000, you know, and they basically just had probably 2 of what would be the, you know, worst. And Your Honor was okay, you know, but you know they're there. So
yeah, and I still want to see a full through rounds from Honor. His third was not that good. The first half I thought was good, but it kind of tailed off the latter half. So I still haven't seen a full 3 rounds from him. So I'm excited to see more, and hopefully we can get a full 3 rounds. Shout out to Antoine Hill in the comments talking about saving bars that you mentioned, Ward. That's a scary thing. Saving bars assumes you will win, and that is a gamble, and that is very true.
Yeah.
So let's jump into one of the more, I'm going to say, so I'm ranking these in terms of the ones I enjoyed are the best battles for me, 1 through 4. So I'm going to go Real Sick versus Jada Nightwing, aka the Mad King, for this next battle. A very close battle. Outside the first round, shout out to, as A.Ward said, the ability to get kind of an exclusive look or second viewing, if you will, at some of these. And shout out to you battle rappers. Apparently some of y'all. Anyway. But Real Sick versus Jay, that first round, the first round is the clearest round of the battle. Sick is rapping his tail off. Flows, cadence, bars, whatever, everything you want in that first round is there, and it's a fire round from Sick. Jay steps it up in the second and the third. I thought Jay's angle of, I choke, me choking is still better than your best stuff. I'm going to, and then the closing line of, I'm going to kill you. They're just going to have to remind me that I did it. Is a very, for me, a powerful way to end that round. Again, Sick, very dope. Like, it's one of those, the consensus was, we'll get rid of some of these lesser winners. Sorry, Rubando, you're getting picked on a lot here. And put Sick into the next round. But I think this is one of those things where you lose, but you win because he's being introduced to a wider audience, being on caffeine, and now there is a demand to see Sick on more stages. So I throw it over to you guys for your analysis.
I like that, and I think it works the other way around too, So I think that guys like Gunpowder Pat and Squeako, I think this might have been the nail in the coffin for them because so many eyes were on them and there was such a disappointment that it might be the nail in the coffin for them as it pertains to the shots or opportunities they get on URL. I'm not saying nobody can come back from that, but you're right, though. Real Sick benefited, I believe, heavily. And I believe that as you see, like the tweets and the comments, and people always talk about how, like, people complaining about the judges or complaining about who got chosen for this and that and how nobody's ever happy. It's actually a great thing that people are doing that, it shows, like, demand, and it shows, like, if you don't think this is right, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with people saying that champion of the year should have went to this guy, or that the judges messed up this thing. Like, it keeps your name being talked about, and it shows, like, the URL, the caffeine, that like, hey, this person has a pretty large following that thinks he should have won this, and it's like there's a benefit to that. I'm with you. I believe I had Real Sick edging the battle rather than Jay the Nightwing edging it, but I was totally on, like, one of these guys deserves to be in the next round. It really doesn't matter to me. I don't have a dog in a fight. I really, really enjoyed Real Sick's first round, and the bars that I remember from the battle, the punchlines came from Real Sick. I think I mentioned, how he said it took him 3 months to show up like a baby bump. Like, why didn't we see son get shunned like Smack's talking? Like, he just some very, like, he chose his punchlines very wisely because he didn't just punch all the time. So for me to remember, it's not like I'm going through 100 punchlines and saying I remember 2. He chose them very wisely, and then he showed the ability to rap very, very well. Jay the Nightwing is what I like to tell people is the most important thing in battle rap, and he's just unique. I mean, he sounds unique. He looks unique. He's from a different place than everybody else. He's from the West is kind of different. I think he's from up Northwest too.
Yep.
He's just unique in all aspects, and that's just a great thing to have. And it just so helps that he sounds like Dwayne Johnson. And that he rap. I mean, he's very talented with how he structures his rounds and his punchlines. So I wasn't mad at all. I literally said live, like, this is like battle of the year. Like, it was probably one of the most enjoyable battles I had watched from a battler standpoint, where I couldn't pick anything apart. I couldn't find anything wrong with it. I enjoyed it so much watching that battle. So shout out to both of y'all, man. Y'all really did your thing.
Yeah, I thought that battle actually was better than the last one that we're going to go ahead and talk about. I thought it was the battle of the night. great battle. I wouldn't have been mad if either one got, moved on to the next round. I personally did edge it to Jay for the simple fact that I thought that even though Sick had those punchlines, I just felt getting there was a little too long. Like he could have cut half of those, and it was good rapping. It was good multis, but I was like, you could have got to that baby bump line a little quicker. You know what I'm saying? Where Jay the Nightwing, he is coming out like he's summarizing. So for instance, Jay, he knew the topic at hand was him choking. He starts off the battle. Here's a known fact: you only win if I don't rap. Like that line, it's a simple line, but it hits. At least for a battler, I'm connecting. I'm like, yo, Sick has been promoting this whole time that Jay is not good because he chokes, because it is, because of all that stuff. And Jay, and that's why as a battler, I don't think it's always good to like force feed your angles to the masses. Because obviously you want the crowd to go ahead and take them beforehand, but you don't want to show your whole hand. Just show a card, you know what I'm saying? Just let them see a little bit, throw a little jab here, and if they bite on it, get them ready for the battle, and then you go ahead and expose it. Sometimes it works, like John with the Black Wealth Chain. It worked perfectly, you know what I'm saying? But in other times, I felt like with Real Sick, because he hammered on that so much. Every time we saw Real Sick in the interview, he talked about Jay the Nightwing choking. I thought Jay was able to structure his rounds around that to go ahead and pre-buttle it. And everything he said was kind of just a slap in the face. Even when Real Sick was trying to say, you're not a true MC. You need 9 months to do what you just did today. So what? All I got to do is that today. You know what I'm saying? And then guess what? I got the 9 months and I'm here. So I thought Jay was a little better. I enjoyed Real Sick a lot, but I thought Jay got to his points quicker. I thought his third round was really, really good. His second round. That first round, I thought it was close as well. But yeah, I'm intrigued by both of them moving forward. I'm intrigued by the Real Sick and supposedly Kid Chaos matchup. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. And, I'll say this too. I know that Jay does this thing where he just kind of lets a hush settle over the room before he starts rapping. I feel like in that setting, it had an even more impactful effect.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's almost like you are separating everything that Sick just said, and it's like it is irrelevant now.
Yeah.
Like the battle starts when I speak. And so like him doing that in each round, like I might have said in one of the battle rap groups I'm in, I'm like, it's almost like I've forgotten what Sick has done in between that 30-second to 45-second pause to get into his round. So I thought that was something that in this setting, because it's almost like a quiet room type setting, that's going to be impactful each round going forward for
yeah. So I mean, and we might touch on it after this if we have time to talk about like the judges and just the whole visuals of the events, right? But I think you notice guys who knew the crowd, know the crowd, know where you're at, you know what I mean? And you saw guys that went in and knew how to take advantage of nobody being in there, like Loso said, the whole, let's get it straight. The only way you win if I don't rap. To us battlers, that stuff hits, right? But I understand going into the battle wondering if the 4 judges are going to give me as much points for something like that as they would a 4-bar setup, to an ending like punchline because of who the judges are. We talked last night about, and I talked to you today, I think, or yesterday, A1 about it. Mook said, let's get it straight. Like, my significance is your existence. It's over. You know what I mean? Like a line like that, right? And like as battlers and as like, creatives and stuff like that, we are able to dive into that and say how much it is. Mm-hmm. But like, I would also wonder if me just saying like, a line like that, if it's going to appear better to a Tony Bro, a Rita, Uncle Ra, and a Knowledge than, tunt with a Blue Ranger, the tunt with a toothpaste, with a toothpaste, but then you're like, ooh, paper, you know what I mean? And like, I'm thinking like that to them is what they need for me to, you know what I mean? So I understand why Real Sick might have came in and really tried to rap, well, and bring the energy around what he did. But yeah, you're right. From what Jay did, and then like just it being that quiet room setting, man, they both really, really did their homework and put on. I love how Jay was like, you only win if I don't rap. And I love how Real Sick, he flipped it. Instead of saying, you choke a lot, he basically said, look, he's going to show up this time, isn't it sad? You know what I mean? So he predicted that he does show up. You know, it was just such a chess match, and it was just a great.
Yeah,
great
it was.
battle.
Yeah. So shout out to them. Like I said, so it's my second favorite battle of the weekend. And it's edged, right? It's not like there's a big gap between this one, but it's edged by Kid Chaos and Luke Castro. Like I said, my favorite battle from the weekend. And I'm going to be honest, I think some of the conversation surrounding this battle is probably what pushed it into probably the last one that we reviewed from this opening weekend. I think it's a dope back and forth. Chaos can rap. He puts he's very sound, puts his stuff together really well, internal rhyming, the multi's going, and Castro, like, to be honest, is the best Castro I've ever seen. For me, maybe you guys have seen a better performance from Castro overall. I thought him versus Street Hymns was dope. But to me, like, when I hear Castro, I apologize, Lou, but to this point, you hear the twerk influence. I get that's your homie. You'll probably spar together. Y'all came up together, right? You can go find twerk versus Luke Castro. I've watched that battle. But in this particular battle, like you talk about having these punches that are memorable, or just having lines, Big Lou, subscriber to your mom's only, like these lines, rock your cousin, but like these lines where it's just like, yo, like they're sticking out. And with Castro, like, he is so rapidy rap that the rhyming is great, but if that punch isn't like, if it's not hitting, like, it just becomes another line in a well-wrapped portion of your round. Shout out to Castro. He talked about today on his Twitter, like, look, man, I was rapping fast, trying to get all this material out before the time.
Chaos.
I'm sorry, you're right. My
Yeah.
Chaos said trying to get all this information out within this 2.5 minute time limit. So he's even rapping faster, and it is hard. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are the MC Roboto 3000. Like, if you're human, you cannot catch every single thing that Chaos is doing in that moment versus someone who is, and I think Chaos mentioned it in his third, right? Who cares if you get to the point quicker than I do if you don't have one?
Yeah, that's good.
And so he tried to point that out, but I think Lou was impactful. He showed personality. He was funny. The punches were memorable. They hit. And I on first watch, I had Castro 2-1. When the ability to watch it back today, I had Chaos edging every round because, yes, the rapping was better. But shout out to Luke Castro for an incredible performance. What could be a career-defining performance for Luke Castro.
Yep. I thought the battle was really good, man. Same thing. I thought in the moment when I watched it, I was like, man, I mean, I see why people are saying Lou won the battle. I mean, I thought it was an edge. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think like he went in there, like, washed Kid Chaos. I thought what Kid Chaos was doing, but I also was amazed at what Kid Chaos was doing. I loved him breaking down. I thought maybe he was a little long-winded with certain things. He likes to layer, like he just says the same sentence in another way before he gets to his punch. And I'm like, yo, you could take that sentence out right there and just cut it in half. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he did say that he was rapping a little fast. I didn't watch it on the app yet, but I did look at the scorecard, and Kid Chaos, when I looked at it, was winning convincingly. Like, he actually was winning. But now when I spoke to Ward said that's just a testament to people liking controversy. You know what I'm saying? So I got to watch it back.
I don't know, man. He rapped well. He rapped better.
I wasn't saying that him winning was, but I'm just saying if he's, I didn't look at it, but if I go look at it and he's got double the votes or he's got something, you know what I mean? Like, to me, I feel like people, that's a testament to overcompensating and say, I'm going to show you, like, he won, he really won this battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was like when Kid Chaos went up there, like, I thought he did what got him there. Like, if you watch his battle with Street Hymns, if you watch his battle with Rude Bando, that's what he did. It just looked different with the 2 minutes. It looked different without the crowd. It looked different. This was his first URL battle that he didn't have a bunch of – I'm not saying that he's gassed. I'm just saying he didn't have his South Carolina dudes behind him. I'm not saying what that plays into viewership for us, but it was just different. Lou was walking around him. I don't know why people weren't thinking of doing that. Kid Chaos did it towards the end, but you props up to Lou, bro. He did what 90% of the people thought he couldn't, and he broke everyone's bracket. You know what I'm saying? And
That's
right. Shout out to him.
That's a good segue, because that was going to be one of my points, is that, I don't know how much has affected it, but it was well known going into the battle that Lou Castro was the severe underdog. It was made known in interviews. It was made known on Twitter. I don't know if you're a judge or if you're a viewer watching it, if you're saying like, oh, snap, Lou Castro's not, you know what I mean? Like, we all want the Cinderella to break the bracket, unless we got money, you know what I mean? We're all rooting for, UMBC to beat Virginia in the fourth quarter, to the point to where we're like, no, that was a travel, like, give them the ball, like, I want to see this, you know what I mean? So I don't know if viewer-wise or if even judge-wise, it was almost like, because Lou Castro was supposed to be here and was here, and Kid Chaos was supposed to be here and was here, this is where we're going to kind of, you know what I mean? I thought Lou Castro did, and I think there's something that, like you said, is most important in these settings is the intangibles, the footwork, the feeling real comfortable, the, just the facial expressions and just all that kind of stuff. If you're not wasting time doing that, if you can do those kind of things while you're getting your bars off, I thought it was dope. I had never heard the with the pot, I had never heard that. I don't know if that was something brand new to this battle or if it was something he's done in one or two of his previous things. I never
heard it either.
Yeah, I thought it was dope. I thought it was different. Kid Chaos, like I know I had read that he said like he doesn't have to change. He didn't go into it saying he needed to change anything for these judges. He was just going to be himself. It's funny. Loso and I had this same conversation about Street Hymns the other day, and like how Street Hymns approaches different things and how he's like, listen, this is who I am. This is how I'm going, to rap. And if you like it, you like it, that's fine. I'm all for that. Kid Chaos, bro, keep your style, do that. But don't get mad when you lose 25K because you decided to rap how you want to rap. You know what I mean? Like, like you had a choice, to come in there and you could have made adjustments that were conducive to a 2-minute round or conducive to the 4 judges. And you showed that you could be very, very competitive and you're very talented within being yourself. But I think that lost you the battle. And I think that if he would have shown a few different things or tried a few different things outside of what the norm was visually in the building at that point in time when it's time to vote, I think that he could have gotten the battle.
Yeah, and I'll say for me, the best rounds that I hear are when, and I think I told Loso this when he did the iBattle, shout out to iBattle and Lex, when he did the battle with Sick. I said, your word economy, there was not a lot of words. You were funny, you showed personality, and you got to the punch quick. Mm-hmm. And for me, to me, there's room for Chaos to do that. But like Loso said, instead of adding that extra line, take that line out. You can still be witty. You can still be as lyrical you want to be, as rappy rap as you want to be. But I feel like a guy like B-Dot, right? B-Dot gets hit with that sometimes of, being very intricate. But I feel like when you get to the punch with Dot, like that punch is like, and not everyone has to be a haymaker. Because I've seen several things. I felt like people have tried to take away from Lou Castro's win by saying, oh, all y'all care about is haymakers. All y'all care about is performance. And it's like, bro, he rapped well. Like, stop trying to discount what Lou Castro did. He rapped. He was dope. He was dope. And like I said, he showed personality, showed performance. Like you said, the whip the pot, had the punches. But word economy, be efficient with your words. And not every punch has to be a haymaker, but it's got to be one that's going to stick. How you finish a round will definitely matter. Even shout out to Your Honor, how you start a round will definitely matter. So I think for these battlers who haven't gone yet and you're going over your material, man, I think there's a lot you can learn from what Lou Castro did, what Sick did, what Chaos did even, in terms of, yes, you can be rappy rap, you can be dope, but you got to shorten up that swing, if you will. Be more compact, get to that point a little bit faster. And if you're going to have a rappity rap segment, make sure that punch is there when you get to that point. I feel like one last thing, and I'll let y'all go. I thought the best section of Chaos's round was that third round when he had that mullet over bar. Like, to me, that was what he needed to do the entire time. Quick, to the point, crazy punch. But I throw it back to y'all.
So I like that. I like that. I was gonna say I'm proud of Lou. Lou, to me, is out on he's a bobber out there in the middle of the lake. The Goonies are gone. Guys went over to NWX. Ace is doing his thing or whatever, and Lou was a Goonie, and him and Glue Easy and some of these other guys are just kind of like this isolated battler now, And so whenever he went into it, like, I like seeing people say, like, okay, I'm on my own. I mean, he's not on his own. He still has good friends in battle rap that, he spars with and stuff like that. But he kind of has to make a name for himself to, and kind of has to, like, start creating that lane for himself. So I thought he came in and he did exactly what he needed to do. So, I mean, I got a few more minutes, but we can, if you want to talk about the judges, I mean, we can talk about the judges and how they judge the battles. I, for one, want to talk about the other side of it. So from a battler standpoint, when I go into a battle and I know who the judges are, I don't necessarily think it is their fault for, like, misquoting and doing I got 4 bloggers that are watching me rap. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of these battlers could have done a better job of knowing who was judging and watching them rap and catering to them a little bit better, So I do think that, the judging with Tony Bro is Rita, right? Rita,
yeah.
Uncle Ra, and Knowledge. I think it's probably a trial experience for them. I hope that this weekend for the next matches, that they can kind of hear the constructive criticism from what people are saying and really, only quote the bars that what they mean, really pay attention to the rounds. At one point, I think Knowledge said that the second round was the best round out of Rubando and Gunpowder Pat or something, and it was, or one of the battles, and it was clearly like the worst round or something to that extent. But, like, just really, really do your homework. But yeah, battlers, like, these battlers need to know that, like, they're not gonna judge your battle the way you want them to judge your battle, and they're not gonna judge your battle the way Loaded Lux or Loso would judge your battle. They're gonna judge it the way Uncle Rod judges a battle, and you might not know what that is, but you need to keep that in mind whenever you have your material and you're putting yourself in this no crowd, blogger judges, caffeine stream. Like, it's so many different dynamics right now that you're not used to in battle rap. And, so I'm cool with the judges being the judges. And next week, I would just say, for the constructive criticism of them, tighten it up, man. Speak on what you know, speak confidently, realize that, you can't do what they're doing. And so, like, just kind of, I would be more positive, encouraging, point out those things, and, give some constructive criticism and make your pick. And instead of, like, sounding like a, it all kind of mentality.
Yeah, that's what A1 and I, we were talking, obviously, off air about this. And my whole thing was that the judges were saying things that it didn't take a lot to give a correct statement, right? So, like, the Jada Nightwing and the Real Sick battle was such an important battle. It was such a close battle for a reason. So we're not mad at the outcome. But when you're giving commentary, like, this isn't 25K material, like, what? Like that. And so this was my narrative, right? As a battle rapper, like, now I'm mad. Like, I'm okay with you being the judge. Like, you're the judge. I had no say so with that. But now I have an issue with you, who you're not a rapper, telling me that this is not 25K material when this is clearly, I'm listening to it on the first try and I'm like, this is amazing. This is amazing. I don't know what 25K material is to Ra, right?
We didn't expect these guys to be Sue Surf overnight, or we didn't expect them to turn into Loaded Lux. None of the guys part of this bracket are making $25,000 in a battle, and you know what I mean. So, like, that comment in itself is just
But if that comment is synonymous with they weren't rapping well, like they didn't do a good job, to me, correct. I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Them agreeing on that it was a lot of filler. Like, I was like, what? like, even Rita was like, yeah, I expected to have more written down for Real Sick. And I was disappointed. I didn't have a lot written down for Real Sick. But that was that battle. The Kid Chaos one, I thought that there was some comments regarding the Kid Chaos where me personally, I necessarily disagreed. Like I said, the Rue Bando and the Squeako battle, those two battles, you could have threw out any commentary. We didn't really care. I kind of just left it alone. For those two, that was my only, that was the only stripe I had against them, because you guys are on, I mean, I don't say national TV, but you're streaming to fans and you're giving commentary on a battle you were supposed to be listening to intently. And when you give that type of commentary, I'm just like, all right, cool. So I'm not, like I said, I've never disagreed with the outcome, and I didn't even try to petition for other judges. I did say, hey, if you had some battlers in there, of course you were going to have some affiliation issues, but if you did have some battlers in there, I thought that they would have appreciated certain things that these dudes were doing at the time. But one thing A1 did tell me, he said, from a fan standpoint, I guess, you want people up there who know how to articulate. And some battlers, they would have been up there, and even though they would have caught everything, they wouldn't have been able to communicate it as well anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do think that there were some battlers as options, but it's neither here nor there, man. I thought that they did just drop the ball with the commentary. I think they're going to do better this upcoming week, and I'm actually excited for that.
I actually have more time than I thought. I don't know if Loso does. Do you want to look at predictions for this week, or do you need to jump off?
Was that a question for me?
Yeah, I didn't know. What
your time is it?
It is
4:45.
Yeah,
4:45 for you.
Your time.
Yeah, I can go to 5 o'clock.
Okay. Cool.
Right,
Yeah.
Cool. Hold on. So before we do that, I just want to say one thing as the non-battle rapper here. Give these guys some patience. Allow them to grow. People make mistakes. This was said on Champion. I'm going to reiterate it here. Real Deal Chilla, first chain match, all battle rap judge panel. Real Deal wins the battle, wins the chain in a highly contested battle, and people lost their minds. There is no satisfying battle rap crowds. People are always going to be mad. I do want to shout out Tony Bro. I do think Tony Bro was really dope. I thought he brought insightful analysis to it. And for the rest of these guys, like, they're growing. Although, shout out to Uncle Raw. I thought maybe, obviously, the Fielder 25K thing, not a good look. But I thought him being, like, super real, saying, I'll close my eyes and pick one for Gunpowder Pat and Rubando, like, yo. Like, I personally like that feel and bringing that. Maybe it's because it's a different side to Uncle Raw that I'm used to seeing. So
another thing is, bro, like, in battle rap we use everything, like I would not be surprised if next round Jada Nightwing, has some kind of bar, that hits like crazy, and then he follows it up with like, hey, Uncle Rob, was that worth 25K or not? Something like that, and it'll make, you know what I mean? So, he's what they call the Simon Cowell or whatever it is. Like, it makes for ratings, conversations, discussions. I don't think it's an act for Uncle Ra. I think he was being honest, with how he was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll get better too. So.
No. All right, so let's go through this right side of the bracket going down this weekend. Let's start at the top. We got Fonz versus Jay Kruger. How y'all calling that?
I got Fonz, man. I think Fonz. I don't know if A-Ward and I agreed on this, but I think Fonz style. Like, this tournament is made for some punchers, and I don't think that we really had a puncher in the first side of the bracket, right? We didn't really have, and Fonz is that dude that kind of like, he reminds me of an Av. I don't know if you guys watched him versus Deuce or watched him versus J400, but watch those battles. Fonz can go, and I actually have him beating Kruger. I think he's a little better than Kruger. I think that he has the presence. He's going to be towering over Kruger, and if Fonz gets his material off and can punch like I know he can punch, I have him advancing to the next round.
Ward?
Yeah, I got Fonz winning too. I'm not really too I'm not up to date or up to speed on Jay Kruger. I think I've seen some clips from some of his battles, but I haven't really dove into the clips that I did see. Didn't make me want to go watch a bunch of stuff. I know Fonz is spoke highly of by Loso, by Danny Myers. Danny Myers picked him to win the entire tournament. I think he's a Midwest dude as well. I think Fonz is.
I think Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah. You know, so I've seen his name. People have asked me to battle him, like on some Midwest leagues and stuff in my inbox, you know, just, you know, stuff that fell through or we never. So I know that he is highly regarded in what he does. So yeah, I'm definitely taking Fawns because, like you said, if he's a puncher, I think that punchers are a lot better in this settings than some guys that are, you know, used to maybe some crowd reaction and, you know, different things. So I'm taking Fawns in what?
Because I was all set to take Kruger, but like the only battles or I should say the last few battles I've seen him have been in kind of those small room settings where he's gotten a lot of love. Obviously, the Chaos battle was one. Is it TY? I think TY battle was one. But I am going to stick with my choice, and I'm going to go with Kruger. I feel like Kruger, while short in stature, his presence that when he raps gives off the stature of someone who's taller than he is. So I those height disparities in battle rap are always interesting to watch anyway to see how they play out. So I'll be the contrarian and take Kruger. All right, cool. Let's jump into the next one. Easy to Block Captain versus Don Marino.
I got Don with the 3-0, bro. Nah, all jokes aside, man, even though I'm rooting for Don, I just think that he's going to be able to punch circles around Easy. The only thing, though, and I've told Don this, I said, Don, Easy I don't know if you guys watch Easy. His most famous battle, unfortunately, is the Twerk battle where Twerk is obviously, you know, putting out some dirt on his girl. But if you watch Easy versus Swag Tan, if you watch Easy versus a couple other guys, he has this tendency of like this drug talk, right? Like this drug street talk. And sometimes it hits. And I know in that arena, like if he could kind of like get on Don Marino, look, you're a Mexican dude, you're a clean cut dude, you don't know about this life type of thing. He could kind of, you know, talk his way out of it. But if it's just a punching match, I think Don has some crazy stuff. I've heard Don Marino's material. I think after the Kid Chaos and Luke Castro, if I'm not mistaken, when I looked at Let's Talk Battle Rap brackets, I think Don Marino and the Easy to Block Captain was the biggest disparity between the two. I think Don Marino is the second biggest, obviously, winner of that tournament for a lot of people. So I'll be very shocked if Don doesn't get out of that round. I thought he had the easiest first round out of everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, this is a 14-3. You know, if we're putting it in March Madness brackets, right? So to me, this is a 14-3. You know, Luke Castro to me was a 12-5. And we always know there's a 12 that ends up knocking off a 5, right? Luke Castro and Kid Chaos or whatever. But to me, like this to me was the easiest first round matchup, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. The good thing is that Don Marino seems to always be prepared. He seems to always take it very serious. He seems to always rap with a chip on his shoulder. He loves battle rap, you know, and in my mind, if he does what he's supposed to do, in no way, shape, or form should Easy to Block Captain win this battle. I'm not very familiar with Easy to Block Captain, just like I'm not familiar with Kruger and Fawns, but I will say this. In this setting, you have to be able to rap. Don is not a good rapper to me. He will never, like, I don't foresee Don being a good rapper to me, you know, and like when it comes to no reaction, when it comes to the bars having to just roll off like this and not being able to turn around and, you know, get a drink of water and different things like that, they hit different, you know? And so you have to be ready after that punch to go into the next one and stuff. So I don't know if Easy to Block Captain is a good rapper, but I do know that if you can neutralize somebody's failures, you know, or something that they don't have, if he can go in with street talk and he can rap real well, he can make a style clash type of a battle out of this quiet room battle, and he might have a chance. But he's not going to punch, and he's not going to have the haymakers that Don Marino is going to have. You know, Don Marino is going to have, you know, his NWX style that he has now, and he's going to come in, he's going to go back to back, he's going to do that kind of stuff. But to me, when the microscope is on and nobody's around you to hype you, nobody's around to do all that kind of stuff, right? Like, and this goes for any battler, you can start to see where they really do, you know, kind of lean on certain aspects of battle rap, you know? And that's, and it's totally off topic. That's another reason why I said Twerk is going to have a really tough time beating Danny Myers on the roof. Is like, when the lens is on, you know, and there ain't nobody around, and you have to memorize all that stuff, and you have to know how to just rap, you know, and just get to your 2 minutes. It's a different monster.
I wish we had time because I have a rebuttal for that, but we don't have time, so I'm going to keep it moving. All right, so I'm going to take Don Marino in part because I'm more familiar with him than Easy the Block Captain. I'll try to get familiar by this weekend, but I'll take Don Marino. But I do echo some of the sentiments of A.Ward about Don Marino's style and the issues it could cause. It could not cost. That could arise later on into the tournament. So, and I said all that, and I just stumbled. Anyway, next up, Brooklyn Hands versus Big Hand.
If whoever comes out of the bad news, Ace, I mean, just have a bunch of hand flips ready, bro, and you should be set to go. But Big Hand and Hands, I've watched. So I watched Big Hand versus G-Lo, and it wasn't a good performance. And I was arguing with somebody about this. I know a lot of people kind of root for Big Hand, but he doesn't have that many performances that we could kind of point to. You know what I'm saying? I was even talking to A-Ward about this. I felt like Big Hand's aura is actually what's pushing him as, you know, some people's picks and stuff like that. Because
you're talking about Brooklyn Hands. You're getting mixed
up. Brooklyn Hands. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Brooklyn Hands, right? Like Brooklyn Hands aura is what's pushing him to for some people's picks. His relationships with NYB and New York, and obviously being there since the beginning with the whole Midwest movement coming through. But they do the same thing, though. They do the same thing, and they're both big guys, and they both can talk that talk. I actually have it as a toss-up, man. I don't know who will win the battle. Big Hand, if you guys haven't watched him versus Jay Murder's crazy. Him versus Bad News is crazy. He can talk, he can rap, man. And I think that's going to be a really battle. So I don't have a winner though. I mean, if I had to pick though, if I had to flip, I'll say Brooklyn Hands.
All right, Ward.
Yeah, I got Brooklyn Hands. For the reason that Loso thinks that, you know, he maybe is overrated. I've heard, seen, and people that I trust, you know, say, like, you know, when Brooklyn Hands, you know, wants to be that dude in the building, he becomes that dude in the building, you know, and like aura to me in battle rap. I mean, Geechee Gotti to me has one of the better auras of any battler, and like when his presence and stuff when he steps on stage, you know, helps him with a lot of the, you know, the material that he spits. And so like if Brooklyn Hands has that, you know, like I believe we were talking to Ace Amin, and he was like, you know, Brooklyn Hands says something to the extent, not I'll throw a frisbee at your dog, like I'll throw your dog at the frisbee. You know what I mean? Or something that is just so asinine and dumb in our head, but like when he says it to like this big, you know, somebody, it's otherworldly, you know. So I'm taking Brooklyn Hands to win that battle.
All right, I'm not familiar with either one. I've watched more of Hands than Hand, so I'm going Brooklyn. Brooklyn Hands. Last battle, Bad News, Ace Amin. Loso, I got an idea of where you're going, but let's hear it.
Man, I've heard both of their material, bro. I am so excited for this battle.
No, you can't predict it then. I'm not letting you publicly predict a winner in this battle if you've heard both of their material.
You should have said that.
I'm not, but guess what I'm about to say though. A.Ward knows why personally I'm now kind of like, you know, like he and I, you know, there's something, I don't know, you know, I don't even want to say too much, but that battle, man, I think it's going to be good. I would tell people, man, do not just automatically assume that because Ace is clearly the better rapper, right? Bad News has always been he's never the better rapper in his battles, you know what I'm saying? But he always comes out and he gives a fight. And so I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'm excited to watch that battle. And that's all I'm going to say, man. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going with Ace Amin. I love Bad News to death. He's such a solid guy, man. Every time I talk to him, he's nothing but encouraging. I really think that he does well with what he does in battle rap, and I think his style is good for certain battles. I don't think this is the one, you know. I don't think against Ace Amin, his style will take over. So I'm taking Ace Amin.
All right, cool. I'm going to go Ace Amin as well, although News, I did not think you were going to be able to hang with Twerk. I got you winning that battle 2-1. Shout out to New Jersey Twerk. I think you're dope also. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to go with Ace Amin. Shout out to the Dungeon fam. So with that being said, man, that's our show for today. We appreciate those on Facebook Live joining us. Remember, you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, searching Brains and Bars, iTunes, comment, rate, subscribe, YouTube, search Brains and Bars, hit the notification bell, ding, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all Brains and Bars. For I am A.Ward, for Loso, shout out Street Hymns getting murder moved. We didn't get into that.
Happy birthday, Street.
Happy birthday, Street. We got love for you. Saga, I saw you in the comments. We'll get you on next time. Until next time, it's been a black
and white
thing. We holler at y'all, man.
A.Ward versus Hispanic thing. A.Ward versus Sharon on Spotify right now. Go stream it.
Yes, sir. Also, Loso versus
Blanco is out now, man. Go check that out.
I'll say Bad News Bullpen. Shout out John. All right, man. We out here for real.
Y'all be easy.